Hey, what's my friends? How you doing? JB Webb with you, and this week is exciting for me. We're doing a local legend interview about an event this time. It's Phat and Jazzy. So instead of honoring one person, we're actually honoring the group of people that have helped keep this great event here in Orlando and going on for over 20 years. A fusion of musicians playing with DJs. The result is a beautiful product of melodic harmony between what feels like the entire world when you're involved with the scene. What I did to document it was go there and interview some of the DJs, some of the people who had attended for a good amount of that time, and we decided while editing this to really make it an actual local legend interview. So surprise, it's Phat and Jazzy, local legend. Please enjoy. Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's Phat and Jazzy, 20 years. I am here live speaking with, at the event, the night of the event. We're at the social. Welcome, my friends. I have someone here who is there at the very beginning, who's done everything. I'll just turn that off. There's enough music going on in the background. But Mr. DJ BMF, welcome and hello, and thanks for chatting with us. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for coming out.
Hey, you're incredible. The whole event, the Phat and Jazzy movement, is an institution here in Orlando. You got a lot of global attention in what you've done here in Orlando. So it's really my pleasure to be able to chat with you here, kind of day of the event, night of the event. You've been doing this for 20 years. You started this with DJ Slack.
Yep.
20 years ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was it right here first? It was at Barbarella's first.
Yeah, it was at Barbarella, which is independent bar now, down the street. And we just started a night just because I tried to DJ at some clubs in town, and they weren't letting me do my thing. So I met Gerard, and we decided to start something a little different, a little funkier, a little jazzier in town.
So, where did Phat and Jazzy come from? I mean, at the time, it's mid-90s. People were just learning about the word fat, I guess. But where'd that name come from?
Well, originally, it came from promoting hip hop and house.
Okay.
And this is like an acronym, promoting hip hop and house, and it was like PH.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
H to the third. It was like kind of silly when I originally came up with it as alternative to techno. Okay, all right. Because at that time in Orlando, it was all the breakbeat scene, which was great. But we were coming out chill. We were coming out. No clubs in Orlando were playing hip hop at that time, and hip hop in mid '90s was, a different world from what it is now. But no one was playing Beastie Boys and Tribe Called Quest. And no one was doing the acid jazz stuff that we were into that was coming out of the UK and New York and places like that. So
yeah, it had a lot of European feel, and I'll keep comparing the whole event to maybe going to see Jamiroquai, something like that, because you get horns, you get beautiful vocals, you get funky melodies. So when this kind of kicked off, you got some initial, you got a bunch of people actually kind of gravitating to the music, to the sound of Phat and Jazzy. What about you as a DJ and an artist yourself? How did you start to get involved in music? I'm always interested to learn about that.
Well, I guess I grew up in Orlando here, and me and my friends tried to be MCs, and I was buying records in the 80s I'd buy hip hop records for the instrumentals, and then we'd rap over them and stuff like that. So I started buying records, and then in '89 I went up to college in New York to Pace University and got engulfed in the New York Manhattan club scene, and the music, and even commercial radio like amazed me in New York back then. And I started doing college radio there. And then I started doing parties, and then someone said on the flyer they put DJ Greg was performing, and I said that's not I didn't want to be DJ Greg, so I had to come up with a DJ name, and it was Bad Mother F. Kind of tongue-in-cheek. Way before Pulp Fiction or before the gangs called BMF, and it was just something that stuck with me, because when I play music, like just in the dorm and stuff, people would be like, "You're a bad mother." And then from there, I was there a few years, and then ended up coming back to Orlando with all this music that I found in New York and at the radio stations, at record stores up there, and nowhere to play. And that's when Gerard and I came up with this idea for Phat and Jazzy.
Your style is very, if anyone's heard you, and sometimes like you'll even spin little 45 singles at little indies. I mean, you're really ingrained not only into Orlando, but into that style of music. So does that kind of speak back to, like you said, that college? Did you have any of that in your younger youth? Did you always kind of tap your feet to, soul and R&B and funk, and or give me some flavor on that?
Well, I was a hip hop kid, a preppy Caucasian hip hop kid, but I was a hip hop kid. I love, I was the Orlando version of the Beastie Boys, I guess, but without the MC skills. And what got me into the funk and soul was hearing where the samples came from. So, when I heard the original songs that Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and all these groups were sampling, I was like, wow. I was like,
the straight dope right there.
I was like, these songs are as good, if not better, than the songs that sample them. And I got as much into the funk and soul as I did the hip hop. And it just, for me, music is just a constant discovery process, because there's always music out there, and that even if they stop making music, we still could be discovering music from the 60s and 70s and 80s that was amazing, that no one's unearthed yet.
No, well, you're definitely a huge proponent of kind of pushing this feeling forward, and I'm proud to be from Orlando because of this unique event. You really did get a lot of global attention. You got a lot of cool acts in here, and like-minded acts, like you said, that maybe are more from Europe, maybe are more different parts of the country and things like that. And what's sad is, they just closed the jazz station here again, the 102.5 on the radio. So it's like there's no real, and this used to be Downtown Jazz and Blues Club, right? So there was already that kind of inherent vibe in the building that we're in right now, which is the Social. Where do you see this? Where do you want to take Phat and Jazzy in the future? Are you kind of just organically riding it? Where do you envision it going? Where do you want to take it? Another 20 years is without to say that, but I mean,
Well, I said when we started we should do this as long as Orlando needs it. So it still needs it more than ever in a lot of ways. So, we our crowd isn't the kind of crowd that can come every Tuesday anymore. It's an older crowd, but we still, between the Social and the connections that I've made over the years, we still can bring in some of these bands and play this music. There's still so much to do that I see us more like as promoters, and we can DJ the shows too, but we want to just bring in bands and MCs and other DJs that are like-minded, like you said.
And that's fantastic. Even in the past few years with the pairing with the Gerry Williams band, that's perfect kind of a fit. So I mean, you just I want to praise you personally, me to you, for all the hard work you've done for 20 years. I really appreciate you letting me come in and hang out and interview and talk to you guys in between sets and everything. We're speaking with DJ BMF, founder of Phat and Jazzy. We got a few more guys we're going to be able to speak with, so hang tight. Where can people get in touch with you? What's the best way if you want to get involved with Phat and Jazzy or get involved with DJ BMF?
Well, we have our Facebook pages, obviously, Phat and Jazzy, DJ BMF. I'm on SoundCloud, on DJ BMF, Mixcloud as well, and Mixcrate. Or you just Google DJ BMF and you'll find me. Yeah. Luckily, I'm still the top result when you look up BMF.
Well, you definitely deserve it, BMF forever, because we're talking with one of the founders here of Phat and Jazzy. It's DJ BMF. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
Hey, what's up? JB back with you. I ran into someone here named Angie, who had a cool story about Phat and Jazzy. How you doing, Angie?
Good. How are you?
Good. Let me hold this microphone down. So tell us a little bit about Phat and Jazzy. This institution has been here for 20 years and pushing. What's your experience with Phat and Jazzy?
Well, I started coming in 2000 when I was working nights at one of the call centers in town.
You work right close to downtown? Or?
No, not even. Up in Maitland. So we would make the special trip down every Tuesday night. It'd be about 20 of us that would show up and just hang out till it closed. And it was always really good music, excellent drinks, and a really good vibe. And I miss that. I wish we could keep doing it more.
So when you heard about it tonight,
I had to come.
You knew before tonight.
Totally.
But you were like, I'm down. I'm 20 years. I'm going.
Totally.
So that's so cool. So Angie, all right, so cool. So you're a big supporter. Was it the music that was the draw? Was it the friends, the camaraderie, maybe a little or all of that, or something else?
It was a good mix of everything. The music was always good, just like it is right now.
Right.
It's very eclectic. I love that.
It so
brings
unique.
every beat in.
Yeah.
Everybody was usually dancing. And of course, we'd show up and it'd be like 20 people all at the same time that would show up.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. We always had a good time every time we came.
Well, that's cool. Well, give me a Phat and Jazzy Rocks and we'll get out of here.
There we go.
Phat and Jazzy Rocks. All right.
I'm Jimmy Webb. Sorry.
She didn't say it. I almost got her to say it. All right. Phat and Jazzy Rocks?
Phat and Jazzy Rocks.
All right. There we go. It's perfect. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show. Hey, what's up? JB Webb here, and I am live at the social helping to document Phat and Jazzy 20 years. Found somebody who used to bartend here and who is a big supporter of Phat and Jazzy and that ilk of music, as it were. It's my good friend April. April, hello, how are you?
Doing awesome. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
I'm so excited to see you. You used to work here as well with me?
Yeah, no, we don't bartend anymore, but we do pretend to not bartend. I don't know. No, we're on the other side of the bar.
Yes,
now.
We still dance and we still get funky.
There you go. All right, so cool. So I wanted to chat with you because we're talking with we're talking with all of the maestros and the architects kind of Phat and Jazzy. And I know you've been involved with it for, almost the whole 20 years, we could say.
Yeah.
So what's the element that you love about Phat and Jazzy? Is it the music, the vibe, the friends, kind of all of that, or is there something specific?
Well, I think all of that, but specifically with all of that, it was something that brought all different cultures together because of the music, which has always been something that music has done, which has always been one of my passions by music.
No, that's an awesome point that it did and it does, especially in Orlando. When it started, we just spoke with BMF and he shared, it really brought a representation for kind of hip hop, but then more than that, the jazz fusion.
Right.
Do you still frequent these clubs? Obviously, you're here tonight and you're having fun and you're doing good. Do you listen to this kind of music at home? Is it your taste as well, kind of throughout?
I do still listen to this. I still listen to Progressive House. I listen to a lot of the old BMF stuff, but I still like the new stuff that he does. He still spins out.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still current as well as they spin older stuff. So it's just timeless music, though.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so huge endorsement for the Phat and Jazzy events. We're here celebrating 20 years. Speaking quickly with a friend and a supporter of this institution in Orlando. April, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? JB Webb back with you. We are here at the Social doing a little social documentary on the 20 years of Phat and Jazzy. I have been introduced to a lot of cool people so far, but now it is Chuck who's been a big part of this. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing well. Y'all may know me by Chuck Charles, but the main name is Shy CHI from Chicago. What's up, people?
Cool. It was great to see you, man. So you did a lot of the door work here. You did a lot of the meet and greet. You did a lot of the vibe, kind of the gatekeeper on the vibe, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to stretch it too far, but right?
You're right, man. I mean, it was me and my partner Angel, and she was taking the money. I was checking IDs and just being there for the people and setting the vibe for everybody coming in. It was just a mad cool vibe over the years.
Yeah. So you obviously, is this your favorite kind of music, like the fusions? Do you just love this stuff, or what are your thoughts about the music?
This is my heart.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's Slack, BMF, my favorite DJs.
They just know how to do it. They just know.
It's as simple as that. There's all types of music out there, but Phat and Jazzy, the name says itself. It's just a fusion. And the one thing that I loved about Phat and Jazzy, which has always brought me back to it, was it brought everybody.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I had hip hop heads, I had skater heads, I had skinheads, I had I had girls in high stilettos that would come out dressed to the nines. I had guys in t-shirts that had holes in it that would come through, and everybody came through. And the one thing I just said, yo, come through, feel the vibe, have fun.
And there was no kind of crazy stuff really ever associated with Phat and Jazzy. I mean, like out of control, nothing like that ever. Unless you got a little story you might want to share with us real quick. What is it? You got some kind of crazy story, fun story you could tell? We don't want to get anybody in trouble, obviously.
No, I ain't gonna get nobody.
Crazy, fun story.
Man, you going crazy, man. Look, in relation to Phat and Jazzy, it's as simple as this. There was sometimes, and it's because of this. We in a club environment. We got a little bit of alcohol going on. Sometimes some people would get crazy, but for the most part, it was the best night ever for everybody that came through. And everybody that left at the end of the night, it's the only club environment that I ever been in. I used to manage the club Firestone, so it was the only club environment that people would leave and they'd shake my hand. This was awesome, man. Thank you. So a club environment where people telling me thank you is the best blessing on the planet, man. Yeah,
you're right. Well, there's a lot of great people in here with a lot of the great kind of sensibilities and feelings about the music. So when they asked me to say, hey, you want to talk to this guy? Now, I used to do a lot here myself in the bartender form, and so maybe I even remember you from back then. Maybe. Did I ever get kicked out of here? No. Anyway, all right. Well, now I'm getting all messed up. We're talking with Chuck, former guardian of Phat and Jazzy back in the day here at the Sapphire when it was the Sapphire. We're at the Social. Remember that? Remember that? Sapphire Supper Club? Anyway, I'm JB Webb. Thanks, Chuck.
Yo, much respect, man. Much respect.
I appreciate you chatting with us. We got plenty more people we're going to talk to that are supporting Phat and Jazzy. We're at the 20-year reunion live in the back room recording little interviews.
What?
Yeah! Hey, what's up? JB Webb here at the back of the Social, celebrating 20 years of Phat and Jazzy, and you really couldn't have that without a legendary figure who is very talented, but he'll stay in the background, and he mists over here, and he goes over there, and it's Q Burns. Q Burns' Abstract Message. Welcome, sir. How are you, sir?
Fantastic with a PH. Fantastic with a PH.
That's right. Very cool.
Yes.
So, you've been a big part of this Phat and Jazzy, and I thank you for taking a little time to chat with us. We're really looking at kind of documenting as much of this great event. You guys have been working so hard for 20 years. You've been bringing great stuff to Orlando. Give me maybe some insight into your involvement in Phat and Jazzy. When did you first start to get involved with what they're doing? I think you were there at the ground floor. Right?
Well, actually, they approached me. I actually hadn't even met the guys. I had a record store called Bad Mood Records, and I was actually really into a lot of the instrumental hip hop and acid jazz and stuff that was coming out around the time, which was '94. So I stocked a lot of it in the shop, and they approached me to be a sponsor because they wanted to get a discount on records.
That's fine.
And I told them I'd do that, but only if I could DJ in the back room. So,
so at that time, so you're the supplier. You're like, here's all the vinyl you possibly need, and this is 90s where that's all there really was at that point. You couldn't mix with CDs or on a computer really, but
thankfully, yes.
Yeah, thankfully. So that's what they're doing here tonight, right? It's all vinyl. You did a little set earlier. You doing some more a little bit later?
No, because we got Nickodemous from New York, and he is fabulous with a PH.
Yeah, no, he's got that New York flavor. We were able to chat with him for a couple minutes, but let's talk a little bit more about you. Q Burns' Abstract Message. He is really legendary here in Orlando, and again, you're associated, you're acquainted with, you're associated with all of these great things that have happened under the banner of Phat and Jazzy.
At least for the first 8 or so years or so, 7 or 8. But I mean, we commandeered the back room, me and Mr. Pimp Daddy Nash, and it was sort of a down-tempo, psychedelic, I guess, kind of sensual vibe back there. Yeah. Very interesting and fun.
Yeah.
I think we had a BPM speed limit of 100 at one point.
Yeah. Which, if you don't know, that's beats per minute, and it's slower than normal, than a faster, but it's a groove, right? So with the original music and the people kind of playing organic instruments, with people mixing and things like this, mid-90s, this was a kind of a huge new, oh wow, you could do this, you know, the whole Run DMC and Aerosmith, and oh wow, you're mixing all this stuff together. What kind of role has that played with, or original music, musicians kind of coming in here, playing music and DJs mixing? How did that come together?
I mean, it was pretty organic, because a lot of the records, what they used to call acid jazz, a lot of it had basically beats and loops with live musicians on top. So it's just a logical extension to sort of recreate that on the stage here. So it was pretty natural, really.
Now, was the Sapphire or the Social, was that the first place where that kind of happened with the mixing?
I mean, I can't really speak for those guys, but I think it was the BMF and Slack. But I think one of the reasons they moved here to this venue was because there was a stage and they could have live musicians.
Yeah, and it's a great room at the Social. It's I don't know, what was this? It's got a huge vaulted ceiling. It's a great room for sound.
It used to be an abattoir.
Really? You know that?
No, I'm totally kidding.
He got me again. We're chatting with Q Burns, major contributor to the 20 years of Phat and Jazzy here in Orlando. Q, what's the best way for people? What are you doing now? Now, I saw something. Is it true you closed out your invisible airwaves?
Yes.
Why'd you do that?
Because someone pointed out to me that it could be misconstrued that the name Invisible Airwaves could be taken from a lyric from a Rush Spirit of Radio.
Okay.
Which is not the case, but once someone told me that, I just had to stop it.
It's over. You ruined it. whoever you were, you ruined it.
But I'm going to start a new show.
Cool.
Yeah, that's...
Can you tell us anything about that?
It's going to be named after another Rush song.
Okay. So you're joking with me there, I can tell. You're great at that. He's got a great poker face because you think he's dead serious. All right, so let's keep it focused on Phat and Jazzy. That's awesome. I think your contributions alone to this added a lot of weight. I think your connections to this added a lot of the melding. There's a beautiful joy here that there's no color here. There's no anything here. It's just a bunch of people who really love the vibe and the music. And that wasn't really a question, was it?
No, but it's very accurate.
Yeah. So,
I mean, there's definitely been. I mean, that's one of the great things about this night was it was definitely very inclusive to all sorts of people. And I don't know. You should if you're talking in the BMF or anyone, you should talk to them about some of the interesting celebrities that used to frequent Phat Jazzy.
Can you tell me? We spoke with BMF real quick, and the night is quickly getting fun and crazy. But do you have a cool story that you could share with us?
Probably my favorite story is back when we were over at Barbarella.
Okay.
And the DJ booth was up high.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you even had to climb a staircase.
Right, and BMF would play, and he could see most of the dance floor, but there was one little corner of the dance floor he couldn't see because the corner of the wall was sort of in the way.
Okay.
And so he's playing all these records, and then suddenly everyone stops dancing, and they're just standing on the floor and staring. And he's playing, and I guess he's just playing all his top records one after the other, trying to figure out what's going on and why no one's reacting. And it turned out it was because Shaquille O'Neal was standing in the corner, like just nodding his head to the beats, and everyone was just kind of just standing there looking at him.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I mean, even different acts that have come in through here. You've got a label, the Eighth Dimension record.
Yes.
Label, right?
Yes.
What kind of acts that you were maybe involved in bringing in here? There were some bigger names. They're not coming to my head right now, but especially in the 90s, there were some individuals that were really had kind of that. And I'm a Jamiroquai geek. I love that kind of music, that kind of feel, the brand new heavies. I mean, that whole vibe from Europe or England. Do you bring some of those individuals over here that were global?
Again, that's probably a question for them.
Yeah.
But I know there were like, God, off the top of my head. Yeah, ask them. I mean, I'm thinking, and it's like, I know they had, Kid Koala was a great night.
Okay.
And I know that, Mark Farina, King Britt.
So you do know them. You know them.
Some of them, but they would probably know some big ones. I know Questlove actually played here.
Okay.
Before he was like as huge as he is now.
Yeah. Well, there's a beautiful vibe here in Orlando, and a lot of that loveliness, I will say, comes from Phat and Jazzy. And we're speaking with Q Burns, who's been a major contributor to this force that DJ BMF and DJ Slack have created. I want to thank you for taking just a couple minutes and chatting with us, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate
Glad
it.
To be.
I didn't throw you off the spot or anything.
What?
Now he's messing with me. Everybody's messing with me. I don't know what's going on. I'm JB Webb. We're in the back of the Social in this cool little place here. You can probably hear the sounds of Phat and Jazzy in the background, and we're happy to keep talking with people that are supporting this Orlando institution. We'll be back talking with more people. Thanks, Q. WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show. What's up, Jimmy Webb here on in the back of the Social, speaking with people who support and who attend Phat and Jazzy. We're here to kind of document the 20-year, the greatness that they've given us for 20 years. And we got a couple random individuals. Introduce yourself and how you doing?
Hi, my name is Maria Diastro.
Hey, Maria.
This is Tamara West.
Hey, so listen, you guys love this music. What's your biggest thing about Phat and Jazzy? What do you love about this event?
I I love the music. I love the vibe. I love the dancers that come, and the drinks are always good.
The drinks are good. Just the whole elements, everything comes together, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that really in Orlando. Where
it's very unique.
Such a mixed group of people and stuff. So we love.
So what about you, Tamara? What's your take on it?
The Phat, the Jazz, and the Dag Daddies.
The Dag Daddies. They didn't have them tonight, do they? No? Oh man.
I had 350 drinks.
So there you go. So so they're keeping the prices like they were in the 90s, which is cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something Dag Daddy. So that shows you've been around here a little while. You've been attending these things.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, especially here. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to Phat and Jazzy when it used to be at Barbarella.
Right.
Like mid 90s.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we hope to keep seeing you and supporting this incredible dynamic scene that is Phat and Jazzy, something very unique that Orlando wants to hold on to. So we've been speaking with Tamara and Maria. Cool.
Happy 20 years of Phat and Jazzy.
20.
From Hoochie Productions, happy 20 years. Keep it going. Bring
Rock
the Dag Daddies back.
There you go. All right. I'm JB Webb. We're going to keep talking with people because we love this event and we're going to keep supporting it. So hang tight. WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show. Hey, what's up? It's JB Webb. I'm in the back of the social, and we're speaking with people who are here supporting Phat and Jazzy 20 years. And lo and behold, it's a damn legend himself. It's Hassan Swamburger. How you doing, man?
What up, man?
Welcome.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a long time coming, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I know. I've been trying to get you guys set up with an interview, which we're going to do. We'll talk about that a little bit later because tonight we're at the social. We're talking about Phat and Jazzy, and I would love to hear your kind of take, your impression on Phat and Jazzy. What has it meant to you over the last 20 years having an institution like this in your city with this kind of music to your access? Because I know this is right. Laser focused to who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear you just give us your thoughts on what has Phat and Jazzy kind of meant for you here in Orlando.
Phat and Jazzy for me is definitely home. Not just to hip hop, of course, what I'm saying, to all the music that they actually play, but it was the like who's who of what was going on in town. Like it was the actual DJs that were they were actually teaching you. You know what I'm saying? The same way like they did back in the day, as far as, my tenets that I follow within hip hop, like they actually taught you. They did their job. They didn't play what was on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like they schooled all the people. And it provided something for the actual community that we were so glad to be a part of. I mean, even till this day, you know what I'm saying? Like I could still look at BMF, go to one of his shows, and he's still doing the same thing, meaning that he's providing for the folks, giving them brand new stuff, giving them old stuff that they might have forgotten, what I'm saying? Like,
and mixing it all together so beautifully.
Of course.
Well, you definitely have great taste. You're a great performer yourself, so it's awesome to see you here kind of, definitely supporting the scene with Phat and Jazzy. But what, do you draw inspiration from events like this? Do you mix? Do you do DJ work as well?
Well, I make beats.
I know you rap.
I do music.
You do a lot of
like
producing.
But I mean, I used to kind of get into like the DJing aspect of it, and I'm still, every
you gotta respect those guys.
Of course,
because it's really architect level almost when you come to like what are you hearing?
Of course.
And like you said, they'll pull out like a nugget and mix it with something futuristic.
It's all about that selection.
It's crazy,
man.
Yeah. So they're doing all real. They're doing all vinyl tonight, which is awesome.
Nice.
So how long have you been kind of a part of this, and how long you been coming out here?
Man, since probably like I think around 94, 93, 94, something like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
98 is when I was like here to stay from Chicago.
You became a resident and you were like, bam.
And during that time, like I was, already kind of recording music with BMF, still being represented by 8th Dimension Recordings. And yeah, man. So that's pretty much my history with it. Like, as far as the years that I've put into it, man, and the years that I've been listening to them too.
What now? This for an event, it's kind of cool that we're talking about this event because we interview people, we interview activists and organizations, and this is really all kind of wrapped into one.
Yeah.
So where do you kind of being a visionary? Where do you see kind of this Phat and Jazzy movement going? Do you see it becoming kind of stronger than ever? What do you see for this?
I like something like this, events like this that last very, very, very long.
Right.
This being like what, the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the music and or the event, like definitely fuses itself inside of specific individuals that then carry out that same mission. You feel me? Like for myself, like when we tour with Soliloquist of Sound, which is my band, like we still uphold a lot of the qualities that was given to us by, specific DJs like BMF. You know what I'm saying?
That's a huge compliment.
I mean, of course, but it's a huge part of my life, man. Like,
Well, yeah, you can't fill up a cup that's full.
No.
And you can't give anybody anything to drink if your cup is empty.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? So that's awesome. So this kind of recharges your batteries. It's definitely got your vibe all over it, man. We're speaking with Hassan Swamburger, the man with Soliloquist of Sound out of Orlando here. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, man?
Oh, man. On the street.
Yeah. Stop him if you see him.
Like, there'll be that, but there's also www.soilla.com.
SOLLIA.
That's actually SOLILLA.
Oh, see, all right, good. So we got a little school in there. All right, well, I just got schooled. We just been speaking with Swamburger, Soliloquist of Sound, and I'm JB Webb here in the back of the social, being able to document 20 years of Phat and Jazzy. Thank you so much for your time, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
Right on.
All right, we got more people to talk to, so just hang loose. What's up? It's JB Webb, man. I've been talking with a lot of people. I'm here in the back of the social. We're celebrating Phat and Jazzy 20 years, and this man just got off the stage from singing live with BMF and Swamburger. Came up there too. It's Gerry Williams, man. How you doing, bro?
Doing great, man. Having a lot of fun tonight. It's live in here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You're helping make this exactly what it is, man. You got such a beautiful talent, and you just went up there and sang with some live DJ mixing. Hassan was rapping with you. It's a great vibe here tonight. Thank you for chatting with us, man.
Right on, man. It's like old times, man. 20 years ago when it all started.
Yeah, man. No doubt. So give me some history on you and Phat and Jazzy. When did you start to first get involved with these guys and work with them?
Well, I came around probably a year after Phat and Jazz. I came around like in 1995.
Okay.
And I had moved from New York. I'm originally from Florida, but I moved up to New York to do music and came back and just looking for a lot of culture. I didn't want to move back to my hometown, so I ended up moving to Orlando.
Yeah.
And man, I thought I was in New York City again when I ran into DJ BMF.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, man, on the real, man, I owe these guys a lot. DJ Slack, Q Burns, and DJ BMF, man, these guys really believe in me, man.
You got the chops, right there. You proved it tonight. We interviewed you on our little humble show that we're doing here. We're kind of coming here to document the 20 years. I love to hear you share with us a little bit about what you just did. You were here, and these guys believed in you. These guys are they've been the torchbearers. Now maybe it's kind of up to you, and you're still here involved in this music. So what does it mean to you to have a group like this, have an institution like this here in Orlando? Couldn't live without it.
Man, let me tell you something. This is what real musical culture is about. DJ BMF has been doing it for years. We even took Phat and Jazzy on the road to Gainesville, Tampa, all the way around, Melbourne, everywhere, man. to see them doing this anniversary again. This is like home to musicians. They created like a canvas for musicians to come out and jam with the DJ. That was something that was unheard of here down south, you know, and until BMF start doing it, and then I noticed a lot of DJs have followed. Yeah. But he's the pioneer, man, behind all this stuff. Man.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Gerry, man, what do you got maybe a crazy story, something you remembered, anything crazy you could share with us, or fun, or just a whimsical kind of a little story?
Yeah, man. I tell you what. One day we were in a Phat and Jazzy session, and we were all on stage. All the musicians was on stage, and then this redhead walked in the building, and I was like, "B, man, play that cut you just played a moment ago, because I can't stop. The words are coming to me." He was like, "All right." He spent that loop again, and then next thing you know, we created a song. The song is on my album now. It's called Redhead Lover. That's how deep this goes, man.
That's cool. That's an awesome story. So, and that's exactly what you were saying, kind of bringing the inspiration. This is a magical place, man. Yeah. When you're in this place and you're feeling it, and there's Clay is playing right now, right? Who's playing right now? It's
Clay Watson. Yeah. Clay Barbecue Watson, man. He's on the wheels of steel right now.
Yeah, so he's blowing his horn, and BMF's backing him up, but it's something that is so incredible, and we're so proud to have Orlando as the home of Phat and Jazzy. We're talking with Gerry Williams of the Gerry Williams Band, who is a frequent resident of Phat and Jazzy, major contributor to them as well. So it's great to see you, man.
Great to see you too, buddy.
I appreciate it. What's the best way, if people want to get cooked up with you on social or whatever, what's the best way for them to do that?
Hey, man, come hit me up on Facebook, Gerry Williams Band, Facebook.com. And because of Gerard and BMF, man, these guys are the reason I'm back on stage. So come look me up, man. It's all because of these guys, man. This is home.
It's a tight music community here. It's Phat and Jazzy 20-year special, because it's not going away, man. There's too big of a demand for it. There's people clawing all around out there, people dancing like crazy. Yeah. So I'm JB Webb talking with Gerry Williams, man. Phat and Jazzy to PNJ 20. We'll be back with more. We got a few more people we need to talk with, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, bro.
Right on, brother.
Thanks.
It's time to dance.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Fuck with me. It's your boy.
What's up? It's JB Webb. Welcome back. I am fortunate enough to be able to speak with Nickodemous all the way from New York. How you doing, man? Welcome.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Oh, hell yeah. You're playing tonight here at Phat and Jazzy. You've got a lot of flavor and style that's similar to this 20-year event. We're doing a little kind of documenting this great momentous occasion. So I'm happy to meet you personally, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your music and your style before we get to hear you tonight.
Well, it's amazing, 20 years. I started around a similar time with Giant Step and jamming with a lot of different musicians from back in the day. Yeah. And acid jazz was taking off right after the hip hop and jazz and funk, hip hop movement. Kind of real hard beats in house music as well with samples. And I think we have a very similar upbringing in music as the cats here. Already I'm in the place a couple of minutes, and I'm hearing so many records that I forgot about, but that we were all buying coast to coast.
It's all vinyl, so you ready for tonight? Is all vinyl?
Yeah, definitely. This was one of those occasions where I just dug in the crates for a couple of hours, got on like 2 different flights with all these records, and everyone, of course, looking at me strange and asking me crazy questions like, you still play those?
That's awesome. But that brings up a good point, is that this kind of capsuled a specific time, era, and then it meshes everything all together. So give me a little bit about your musical backgrounds. I know you've been doing this for about 20 years. Do you also play musical instruments as well, or where does it go for you?
I guess I could say I started as dancing in clubs, and I was
just
like
appreciating it.
Yeah, appreciating. Like I was like 12 years old in clubs. My sister.
The Palladium and shit.
Yeah, my sister would get me in early, and that was my first influence. My dad's record collection was all Latin and African percussive music, like from the 70s. So that was my real introduction. And then, you know, as it evolved, the stuff that was being produced as I was growing up in club music, dance music, hip-hop music, it all reflected that because it sampled it. And I always loved the live element. So I've learned to kind of DJ like a jazz musician and listening and doing things spontaneous on the spot. So I've been in a couple of bands. You know, we like funk fusion, jazz fusion, hip hop fusions, growing up as a turntablist, and then, you know, of course, just doing my own thing as well.
Yeah, no, that's badass. Well, I'm excited to hear you tonight. It's awesome to meet you, man. You definitely seem like you already fit into this vibe so well. We're speaking with DJ Nickodemous from New York for the 20 years of Phat and Jazzy. Where can people get in touch with you or find out about what you're doing? A good site or place for them to go besides social media?
Yeah, I mean, I have a website that needs serious updating and design and all that. So it's Nickodemous.com, but I would check out my Facebook. Nickodemous NYC is a fan page, and I post everything there. On my Twitter is the same handle, like, you know, Nickodemous NYC. And Wonder Wheel Recordings, that's my record label. And Turntables in the Hudson. If you're ever in New York, that's our party. So there you go.
Badass. Well, we keep meeting cool people here, supporters, new people. I'm JB Webb. We're talking about the 20 years of Phat and Jazzy, speaking with Nickodemous once again. Go check this guy out. And we got a few more people we're going to talk with. Thanks, man.
Ooh, thank you.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show. Hey, what's up? It's JB Webb, man. I'm here with DJ J Mob, who is a supporter of Phat and Jazzy, and we said, hey, come over here, let's talk to you real quick. So, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. What's going on? Thank you for having me on the show, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big supporter of this event. Been going on for 20 years, you know what I'm saying? I am 45. I'm from the old school from New York, so I'm into the old disco, hip-hop, you know what I'm saying?
What part of New York?
I'm from Uptown Manhattan, 161st Street, Riverside Drive.
Okay, all right, so cool. So I'm from, like, Saugerties, like upstate New York, right? So
that's still cool.
Yeah, no, it is still cool. So that's why when I found this in Orlando, I was like, oh, my God, and this was mid-'90s, right? And I'm like, oh, my God, this is great.
The mid-'90s was definitely golden era of hip-hop, good music, soul music, fun, no violence, no saggy pants, no drugs, you know what I'm saying? Real happiness, you know what I'm saying? Real live music, party music.
And even the hip-hop, you know, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, it was all like organic, real feel, you know?
I believe it was energy. It brought many people together, white, black, yellow, purple, pink. I mean, it was just all cultural, you know what I'm saying? It just was the feel of the music. The music brought people together. It just was that gut-wrenching feeling that made you feel good about real hip-hop and culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I totally do. And, you know, growing up north, to see something like this kind of down south, you were refreshed, you know? I mean, it's not this cookie cutter, this and that, and they stayed so true to what they're doing for 20 years. Right. So give me some background on maybe what you do with your music and your skill. I know you do a couple different internet shows. You've been a DJ for how long?
I've been a DJ for about 20 years.
Okay.
I connect to this show because they keep it real. Like you said, they're not cookie cutter, they're not whack MCs, it's real MCs. It's not Bugattis, it's not my chain, it's not drinking, it's not exploiting women, it's real hip hop. I DJ on 3 shows on grindseasonentertainment.com at 8 to 10 on Fridays, www.skliveradio.com from 10 to 12, and I'm also on Realistic Radio, that's with a K.com, from 12 a.m. to 2 midnight. 12 midnight, 2 a.m., excuse me.
Okay.
So I do 6 hours of hip-hop, all raw-core stuff. But back to your question about this event, I support it because I believe, like I said, I'm 45 and I grew up in the 90s. I'm an 80s, 90s kind of guy.
Yeah.
So this music here is really dope. And when I came down from New York, down south, everything was like, oh, take your stuff back to New York. You're not really New York. But now there's a strong hip-hop community in Orlando. It's not 1,000 people, but it's about 200 strong.
Yeah.
Lazy Day does their shows. They bring people down. Swamburger. There's a lot of people down here that's doping.
Maceo's, was just down at Lazy Day.
Right.
Last weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
I support the Lazy Day show. We went out to Tampa. DJ Sandman brings down Red Alert. He brought on Grand Wizard Theodore. So it's a huge, big community of hip hop here in Central Florida. You know what I'm saying?
No, and it's beautiful. And this kind of Phat and Jazzy movement, this institution, as it were, kind of bred, and propagated it. Because in Florida, though, there was DJ Magic Mike.
Right.
And Luke, and all those guys down in Miami. So, do you have a special memory from past show, maybe here in this building and other buildings, something that maybe kind of struck a chord with you, that inspired you, or anything like that? Any little story?
I had a moment where I think it was the second time that I came here, and they were just playing like breaks. Yeah. And a lot of people don't really know about breaks. They play the drum break of the album, the whole album. So, and they go back and forth with it. They might play funky drummers. The boom bap boom 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 bap. And they'll extend that because they didn't have samplers back in the days. Right. So these DJs are really talented. They'll take a 2-second break and extend it, and the rappers will rap over it, kind of like old wall style.
Yeah, like it's a break beat.
Right. So if they have like a boom boom bap, they will take that part of the record and extend it for like 5 minutes and have MCs rhyme over it, because they didn't have drum machines back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I first heard that, I was like, in Orlando, remember, coming from New York, you see it in New York, it's always dope. But in Orlando, like, wait a minute, this is not. And then I had to get into the groove, and I said, this is really dope. I'm hoping that they continue it. 20 years later, you're like, wow. Yeah. And now you can say it's wow, because I'm 45 in 2014. Remember, this is 90s will never die out. The golden era of hip-hop will never die out, as long as we have the energy of the people.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's cool. We're here in the back of the social at Phat and Jazzy, 20 years strong and going, talking with DJ J-Mob.
Right.
I'm JB Webb. We appreciate you for hanging out with us. And any closing thoughts on Phat and Jazzy? Where do you see this going in the next 20 years?
Well, like I said, I'm 45 now, and I have a niece that's like 5 years old. And I'm hoping she's growing up with hip-hop, because my brother does hip-hop, I do hip-hop. So I don't have any children of my own, so my niece is kind of like my outlet to the hip-hop community. I'm hoping when she's my age, the hip-hop will still be around. You know what I'm saying? I hope that hip-hop will always be around. Yeah. I had a dream 100 years from now, they still have hip-hop. And they still keep to the culture. You know what I mean? Don't do the saggy pants, the Lil Wayne, the 2 Chainz, all that whack garbage here on radio. This is real hip hop. Yeah. If the people knew this, they would love it like we do. You know what I'm saying?
Organic, it's real, it's Phat and Jazzy, it's 20 years. Thanks, J-Mob. DJ J-Mob, we're talking with. We'll be back. We got a few more people we need to chat with. I'm JB Webb. Keep it all together, baby.
Peace.
What's up, my friends? JB Webb here in the social, in the back of the social. We are celebrating the 20 years that Phat and Jazzy has graced Orlando. And right now, it's an appropriate way for me to end things. I'm here speaking with DJ Slack. And welcome, good sir. How are you doing tonight?
Great.
It's a beautiful night. You guys put on a great event, as always. Kudos, congratulations, and let's talk a little about Phat and Jazzy, man.
Well, I mean, DJ BMF and I got together 20 years ago, and we wanted to do a night. We started off with a one-off party, and it went pretty well. And a couple months later, we started a weekly, and we ran the weekly for 17 years, and then we started doing monthly parties after that. And this is the 20th anniversary of that.
And it's amazing, man. I mean, I just have to commend you, as I shared with Greg, man. I mean, you guys have been a driving force of what is an institution. I spoke with Swamburger, I spoke with Gerry Williams, and they both said, you guys provided a forum for them to be inspired, provided a forum for this kind of unique fusion of music. So big hats off to you, man. Big congratulations for doing that and for really pioneering the way we'll say at least another 20 years, and then we'll check it beyond that, because hip hop and this kind of fusion, this acid jazz, whatever you want to call it, is going to keep existing. So I mean, I just want to say hats off, man. You guys created something awesome. I'm so proud that it's here in Orlando. So let me stop gushing and let me ask you a serious question. What's the future for Phat and Jazzy? What do you see as kind of the direction? Where do you want this to keep organically growing, or maybe you have some other ideas about where this is going to go?
I think ultimately what we're going to continue to do is sponsor certain events. We're just on the lookout for quality music. Just a couple of weeks ago, BMF played with Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. So we get some quality shows in at the Social in the Beecham, and we're doing some of those as Phat and Jazzy events, and I can see that continuing for a long time.
So there's really some great potential fusion of DJs and organic music, as it were, individuals playing music that we can kind of hope to expect in the next coming years.
Yeah, I mean, Phat and Jazzy is really founded on the music. It's about the music. It's about quality music. And as long as people keep making quality music, we'll keep doing events. I feel like there's some great music that just continues to come out, and it just needs to be unearthed. And we like to provide a forum for our type of music, which is a fusion of hip hop and jazz and down tempo and mellow electronic. So it's a little bit of everything, and it keeps on coming. And unfortunately, it's died down as far as people doing nights, and so we have to carry the torch. Yeah,
well, you've definitely been doing a great job of carrying the torch for 20 years because, as I've said time and again, Phat and Jazzy is literally an institution that we want to see continue to grow and to continue to thrive. Any kind of special little moment or story, any kind of funny little, it doesn't have to be funny, any kind of story or anything you want to share with us from these past 20 years that you could say, this was remarkable, or this was crazy, or this was a turning point, anything like that?
I think one of the biggest turning points was actually making it to 5 years. So the first 5 years we said, wow, okay, maybe we can do this a little bit longer. And then the next turning point was when we made it to 10 years. And we said, wow, we can probably do this even longer. At the 10-year mark, I became the owner of the Social, which made it easier for us to continue the night. And at that point, we knew we could do it. I knew I could make it to 20 years. I wanted to leave something that was really monumental musically, and I knew, I think the 10-year mark was a big thing because I knew then that we could definitely make it 20 years.
Right. Well, and that's an interesting point too, because this place is really where it started to blossom. So, having the bones in this building at your back with Phat and Jazzy is awesome. Having the talent that comes in here, people that support the scene, and to see the live musicians with the DJs and the collaboration that's impromptu and organic so much is just a remarkably is it ecclesiastical type of feeling? Like it fills you. It fills you. So I again personally thank you for doing this and for keep pushing this Phat and Jazzy movement. It's Phat and Jazzy 20 years. We're in the back of the Social. We're speaking with DJ Slack. And thank you so much for inviting me to come in and help document, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for documenting this.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. So go to thesocial.org for more information on all the cool stuff that happens here. I'm JB Webb, man. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you the next time. Take it easy. Stay fat and jazzy.